Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first edition of this podcast that has no name yet, where I interview guests. Sometimes I'm drunk. Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? We're figuring shit out. We're figuring how this is going to work out. Joining me today is my guest, none other than one of my partners on my Discord channel, TheOneSkyIAm.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be the first guest here.
Yeah, no problem. Well, one of the questions I wanted to ask you starting out is, where did you get that name from?
So, honestly, growing up with the name Sky, it's very, unique, you could say.
So your actual name is
really
Sky.
Yeah. So nobody really has that name. So I was like, it's kind of unique, right? Like, I'm the only person who I know goes by the name Sky. So I'm the one Sky.
That makes sense.
So it's just, yeah, it was creative.
So what made you come up with the name Ruby then?
Ruby came from when I was 10. I had a very small YouTube channel. Everybody had that phase. Where they're in fifth grade. Yep. They had that phase when PlayStation, they found out they could stream stuff. And yeah. I don't know where I got the name, I guess. It was I just thought it sounded cool. Ruby God Gaming. And I kind of said it for every single thing. Not just PlayStation, but you've seen it on VR and all that.
So you just said it as it just sounded cool to you, pretty much. It sounded cool, and you said it as your game everywhere.
Yeah, and then people just called me by the nickname Ruby.
So let me ask you, why go by the OneSkyIAm on YouTube rather than Ruby?
Honestly, one thing that a lot of people do in our Discord servers is they trying to use just Rec Room stuff. And honestly, with YouTube, I want to get more bigger, so I don't want to just be strict on just Rec Room stuff. So I wanted to do something that's kind of out of Rec Room, that doesn't feel like Rec Room's involved with it.
So that name kind of branch out.
Yeah. So it just makes it feel like, oh, he's not just doing Rec Room stuff. He's just doing a whole variety of stuff.
Is that how it kind of feels right now, or what kind of place? Do you
Yeah. Definitely. There's some things though, I know a lot of friends of mine, they always try to film videos on Rec Room, and it's hard to explain to them that I don't want to just keep filming Rec Room videos.
I mean, Rec Room's a fun place for content.
Yeah,
but
it is.
There's only so much you can do on there without getting bored or just getting stuck in the same old shit.
Yeah, I want my audience to enjoy my videos without getting worn out, without getting tired out.
It's funny that you mentioned the 5th grade phase, because that's exactly how this channel started. This channel's been around since 2015. We rebranded it and everything, but it started off as Gaming Bros 619. It was my brother and I, we still run it today, but him and I, we made the channel back then, and we just wanted to be like PewDiePie, because that's
is it 9 part because of Rey Mysterio?
Because of Rey Mysterio. Yep.
Oh my god, that's wild.
So we came up with that name. It just made sense to us, so we went with that. And our first ever video was it was a Slenderman, pirated Slenderman game. The shittiest quality ever, because it was on our old laptop that ran it had a nuke went off on it.
Oh my god.
But anyway, we played the game. It was half an hour. We played it through the laptop mic, so our TV's in the background the whole time.
Oh.
And it's playing Family Guy through the TV. So I get to listen to Family Guy audio through that whole thing, it's Quagmire.
I'm playing Quagmire.
And one of us is looking around, and we don't even have a mouse at this time. One of us is looking around with the little keypad mouse thing, and then the other one's using the arrows to move. And we're both cracking PewDiePie jokes, because that's all we know. We don't have a sense of humor yet. We just have those. And that has got to be the worst 40 minutes ever that will never see the light of day again.
Yeah, there's videos like that. Trust me. I have these old videos when I started off, and they're just wild to say the least. This is back then when I felt like YouTube was more for my own enjoyment other than other people's.
Right.
So it's just, oh my god, it's just weird. Weird stuff.
What was your first video, if you remember?
So I still do this nowadays, but I collect a lot of wrestling figures, and I have a whole setup. I don't know if you've seen it or not. I've posted it in the Discord every now and then. I'm still upgrading. That's like one of my goals is to like have a big wrestling figure setup because it just looks good in your room. But when I was a kid,
everything.
I do.
Okay.
Some stuff. I know, like, did you know that AEW came out with those Street Fighter figures?
Really?
Yeah, they have these Street Fighter GameStop exclusives of Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks as Ryu, Ken, and Akuma. I opened the box, but like, I didn't rip open the box. I opened it carefully, just in case I want to put it back in, tape it up, make it seem brand new.
Right.
But I remember back then my channel was just around wrestling figures, and I was like 10, 9, and oh my god, I'd have my friends come over every day, and we would literally play like, think of it like Barbie Dollhouse but with wrestling figures on a shitty ass Android camera.
Oh, you filmed it too? Fuck.
Yeah, if it comes to that measure where you're that curious, I can make it unlisted and just send you the link.
Oh fuck no, I'm not watching that. I'm not watching that shit.
It was wild.
I used to play with those toys a lot. I'm trying to think of what got me into wrestling first. It was something like that. But my brother and I, we collected a bunch of those toys too. We recently had to start selling them all because they all just sit in this bin, like collecting dust at this point.
When did you start collecting them? Like what year?
Oh, that's a good question. It was around the time where there was a game, WWE All Stars.
Oh, so you have like those the old 2010s figures and all that.
So yeah, I got that game when the PSP was still around, and I was playing it on the old PSP, and that was my first introduction to like wrestlers. So that's how I saw John Cena. That's how I saw Rey Mysterio, Sheamus. For some reason, he was in that game.
I love it. That game was amazing, honestly.
I just recently recorded something. It's probably going to end up in my Lost Clip series now because it didn't make it to a full video. But I recorded some WWE All Stars again. Man, that game was so fun back then.
I'd love to go back to play. I remember when I was like very little, I would say like 8 or 7. I remember like getting it for the Xbox 360 at GameStop, and I was so stoked to play it after school. And then that was back then when cheat codes were a thing, and everybody loved using those cheat codes to like unlock everything, unlock all the characters.
What kind of cheat code? So what kind of cheat codes did it have? Because I didn't use any cheat codes in my game.
I think it was just one where you'd like put in inputs and it would unlock everything in the game, like all the costumes and all the characters. But the bad thing though is it wouldn't save. So every time you'd have to load up the game.
So there's no fucking point to use the cheat code then.
Every time you play the game, you have to redo the input.
That's so stupid. Like, maybe if you want to do a one-off game, that's like, I don't know. I think Chris Jericho is like a secret character in there or something like that.
Or he's like a DLC.
Oh, they have DLC for that game?
Yeah, that's what made me like actually like pissed. I know that Chris Jericho was a DLC, and I know that I think Mark Henry was. It was like Chris Jericho and Mark Henry.
Yeah, because my brother had the 3DS, and he had W All Stars too. I think that's where I saw that Chris Jericho was in the game, and I was like, "Where the fuck is that in my game?" Old PSP had none of that, but anyway, that's where it got me into first, and then I started getting those wrestling figures. So my first one was Rey Mysterio, and then Sheamus was the next one. So because like that's who I knew. I only knew Sheamus and then like Kane, Big Show, Cena came afterwards, and then it just kind of built from there.
I remember when I started collecting it was like 2014. I still remember it surprisingly, but I got a basic collection of The Rock. It was just the basic figure of The Rock.
So it was was it like new version Rock or was it like old version Rock?
It was new when it was just him in his promo gear.
Oh,
like how he had the tank top and the black slacks.
Yeah, I think I got that same one. I think I have that same one.
Yeah, back then I would collect all kinds of figures like basics, but now I just collect elites. When you were young playing with the basic figures, bro, Oh, it's so hard to play with them. It's like the legs only bend like forward and back. It's so bad.
Imagine spending $25 on a Sin Cara action figure. That's the kind
No,
of
I've,
format.
I've
Or
done.
Yoshitatsu. What about Yoshitatsu? That lovely guy. Yeah.
Oh my
I feel
god.
so bad for my parents.
Yeah, I remember one time my mom said I had a budget of 30, and I didn't really read the price tags back then. So I'm just thinking like elites were $10 too, right? So I'm like, oh, this is $10, right? So I got 3 elites, and they're like $25 each.
So you got like $75 worth of shit.
Yeah, like $75 when I had a $30 budget. My mom was pissed. And the worst thing possible is I got I got a Biggie Langston elite,
Oh my god.
and then I got the shittiest Vader elite. Like the paint job on it wasn't even finished. I still have that too. It's like one of the sides is just basic, like came straight out of the factory.
God damn, because that reminds me of like so many of those figures we got. They're like shitty. There's like Andre the Giant looks horrendous. It's like he's like an actual giant compared to the other figures, and his like hands are huge, and like he's like growling into the sky or something. Like that's his that's his face.
I think the worst one recent wise is the Eddie Kingston action figure. Oh my god.
See, I kind of grew out of it before AEW came around, so I've not looked at any of those. I think the last when I stopped was like 2016.
Oh, that's when I
That's
I
when
was
high
on
school
it.
started beginning.
Yeah,
Back in my day.
and here I am, a sophomore, still collecting them.
Yeah, when did you start watching wrestling?
So I started off when I was 3 years old. I was Okay, bro. No, but I was introduced from the video.
You're lying. You're lying to me.
No, I'm not. I swear to God. Like that is.
How do you remember 3 years old? I guess you're not too far off from 3 years old, but.
Okay, bro. I just turned 17. You don't. Okay. I'm gonna make you feel even more old now.
Anyway, continue. 3 years old.
It was 3 or 4. It was when SmackDown versus Raw 2010 came out. You know that game?
Yes.
With John Cena on the front and all that. Yeah. So me and my brother would always play it, and I'd always get my ass kicked. But it was like me getting first introduced to wrestling, because I thought it was like a fighting game, but like wrestling. It was really fun though. I think my favorite character was Jeff Hardy, because like, come on, if you get into wrestling, yeah, if you get into wrestling and you see a guy with like face paint and colorful hair, that's gonna like definitely spark an interest.
Oh yeah, like just having a creative personality and having that.
Yeah.
Having that.
Especially when you're confused and you're saying just a lot of naked men in underwear.
When you're confused and probably gay at 3 years old.
That's kids nowadays.
my first show I ever watched, we like turned it on in a hotel, and it was Monday Night Raw. It was I'm trying to remember what match. I think it was CM Punk. It was around like CM Punk's title reign in 2012.
Oh.
It was like Punk, Bryan, and then Kane. And I think it was the night where AJ like hopped on top of Kane and started making out with him.
AJ was wild back in the day. You can't tell me otherwise, bro.
She was crazy. My mom saw that and she's like, "Okay, no more of that." Jeff Dunham.
It's like, turn it off.
Jeff Dunham.
I think that's one of the big struggles of watching wrestling around your parents.
So since then, we were just like, yeah, we're not turning that. And then like a couple months later, we turned on another Raw, and it was like Kofi Kingston and Dolph Ziggler going at it.
Oh yeah.
Then we started watching it regularly. But no, that was a fun time. It makes me feel old thinking about that.
Yeah, considering it was probably more than 10 years ago.
Yeah, no, 2012. Yes, that was.
12 years ago, damn.
It was so when I started watching again, it was around like Hell in a Cell. So Punk had already turned heel, and Cena and Ryback were there deciding who was going to get the title shot. And then that's where it all began. So I've seen the good stuff, and I've seen the really shitty stuff since.
I didn't really watch it back then as a kid, because like I didn't really grow up with cable, so I'd get a lot of the PBS Kids type shows and all that. I would just stay updated because like friends at school would be talking about it. I was friends with kids that loved wrestling back then.
So,
and then
your friends kept you in the loop.
Yeah. I didn't start actually watching shows like live until like I would say 2015 or 14. It was like when WrestleMania 30 happened, and it was like the Shield was the huge thing.
That's
and all
a good
that.
time to watch.
Yeah, and then Daniel Bryan was like basically on top of the mountain.
God, yeah, that was such a good year.
It was. I actually really enjoyed it because I was like, wow, that's great. Like it's really good.
And it all peaked with Team Cena versus Team Authority. After that, everything fell off.
Once as a kid, I think that was probably my favorite wrestler. It was so fun, like seeing the bad guy be like so good. Because usually, like people get the impression of wrestling as the bad guy always loses, and the good guy always wins. And I guess like they're reasonable. True. Yeah, people always assume that though. Like I guess because Hulk Hogan and all the old '80s guys left that big mark. But it's fun though. Like when you see a bad guy like Seth Rollins having the whole Authority. What were their names? J&J.
Oh, J&J Security.
Yeah, and then having Corporate Kane, Triple H. It was just fun seeing all of them like literally take over. It was fun.
I hated the Authority. I hated Seth Rollins.
I liked it.
Seth Rollins is such a weasel.
That was the best part. I think that interesting.
Then I didn't like Randy Orton either. I was one of those kids who always hated the bad guy, no matter who they were.
It's very rare for me to like hate a bad guy. I think the only bad guy that I like really hate is probably somebody like Roman Reigns. Somebody like Roman Reigns.
At this point, you're like, fucking lose the title already.
Yeah, and it's for the wrong reasons too.
Yeah, this is more like go away type, and like it was fine. I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. After he beat Cody, I thought it was a dumb decision, and I still think it's a dumb decision.
It's very embarrassing when your inner kid self comes out when you're at your girlfriend's house watching WrestleMania 39, and you see that Cody Rhodes loses, and you have a full-on breakdown in front of her and her family. So, no! I'm like, no!
It's smashing shit. Speaking of wrestling, I guess we have to talk about Rec Room Wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people are expecting Rec Room Wrestling conversation in here. So if you've tuned in and you've only heard us just jabber on about our childhoods, here's your chance to get some Rec Room Wrestling content. Yeah,
bring on the heat. I'm ready to answer anything. Yeah, my honest opinion.
Yeah, so let's go back then to, let's say, what was it, around April or March of last year? Ruby versus DMK at the ROH house show. So yeah, most people don't know about this match. Like they've only heard of it because of the rating. Mm-hmm. Some people maybe not either. Like they just know that you have 5 stars, but they don't know why you have 5 stars.
I've had people come up to me saying I paid you for it.
And that's, yeah, like people just, because nobody's seen this match. It wasn't recorded. Yeah. It was under a small audience, and I just happened to be in the audience. Like I happened to be calling the match. So yeah. I was there, so I got to see this play out.
Yeah.
And since then, you've had lots of troubles getting back to that height. You've come close many, many times. But let me ask you just about that match. What do you think makes that match different for you compared to your other matches?
So that match made it truly special. I think that's what really elevated me into, I guess you could say, the GOAT status. That match right there is something that kind of changed Rec Room Wrestling as a whole and set a precedent for everybody. Because everybody was talking about how, the max match rating is 4.75. Nobody can go above that. And I guess luckily I was blessed enough to, break through that. And I'd say set a new precedent, set something new, set a new record, and honestly shock everybody.
Break some new ground. Because nobody expected to get a 5-star at any point. At least at that point. Because people thought the conversation I've had with people is that when that 5-star was given out, or before then, it was like whoever gets that 5-star, they're gonna get a huge ass ego boost. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
that was
And I
the
will say
concern.
that happened. Yeah, I think at that time in my career, I literally thought I was the greatest wrestler in the world, and that match rating said to anybody who deferred, like the proof.
Oh yeah, well look at this.
Yeah. Yeah, but honestly, I just still felt like I don't want to sound like ignorant, but I felt like I was the one who actually deserved that first 5-star, considering the stuff that I did do, like with Rec Room Wrestling as a whole. You know, coming from RZW and just going through that whole hellhole that people wouldn't understand, and then them closing down so many times, so you're like, you're in, and then you're out, and then you're in, and then you're out. So it's like very stressful getting to do that, have fun, and then it shuts down, and you gotta wait another 2 months or so.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that. With that match though, is there anything that you would like to tell these people, like to describe that match? Like, what would you describe this match as?
For people who say there's no story in it, honestly, you're right. There was no background story, but the in-ring story really told the story you needed to know. That's all you really needed to know. If you wanted a story, it's not out, but you'd have to be a really original fan and look into DMK's DEW company. Or honestly, I had another great match with him. That's honestly somebody who I never expected to work well with. But DMK is someone who's old, but he's really good for his age. Honestly, I was not expecting RZW original talent to be really good and give me some of my best matches.
Turns out RZW had some good talent there.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, they do. That's one thing. People can like hate on them all they want. That's none of my business. But when you look back at it and you see what it's evolved into, you gotta like give them credit. Considering the RGW main roster was filled with just, you know, Scratch's friends and all the dicks. They're perfect and all that. So
all the
yeah,
ass
it's like,
kissers and ass lickers.
yeah, the dick riders. But they had their development, which was like their NXT, I guess. They called it New Era. And oh my god, if you just see the roster that came from there, you see how like horrifying and how scary good that roster is. I remember I kicked it off as a champion. I was the New Era World Champion.
Mm-hmm.
And there was many guys in there that everybody knows nowadays. You had Stein Time in there. You had Kai in there. You had Vacation Guy in there. Inko came from there.
Just
so it's like a lot of
many different famous names nowadays.
Yeah, everybody that people who are listening know. They at least, I would say 75% came from RZW New Era.
RZW did pack a lot of talent. And like I never joined RZW. Well, technically I did now. that's on a technicality at this point, because RZW opened up to like they got rid of their rule, so I eventually joined them, and
yeah,
well that just means like now I've been everywhere. So
yeah,
suck it RZW.
I think that's the one thing that like set RZW aside, is that they had that one company policy rule. And as painful as it was, you kind of got to look at it like, if I go to these other companies, am I going to get the crowd I want? Or am I going to get the storylines I want? Am I going to get booked well? Or are there going to be like people that I actually can work with over there? So it's all about taking a risk when you kind of sign up for a company like that.
I think it's also a risk to like mutually be exclusive.
Yeah, definitely. I've heard talks about I know Wave and Rocker, if they're listening to this, they wanted Ring of Honor to try to have a rule where you can sign with Ring of Honor exclusively and only work for Ring of Honor, and like Ring of Honor will give you like a payment or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's nothing I'm not doing. So like, if you're listening, I promise I'm not gonna do that plan. I think it's really dumb. Some people may love competition, but that's on a whole nother level of competition. That's just trying to shut other companies down by taking their best talents.
Yeah, well, so I kind of understand both sides of the argument, because, like, if you are mutually exclusive, it sets you apart from everybody else. Like, you kind of put yourself on a different level if you get the right talent and you build it the right way, like I guess RZW did back in the day, like you become the top company that everybody talks about, no matter what. Like whether you're good or bad, people are still going to say they're going to compare you to that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a good part. It builds the brand, it builds the character, and it builds the company. And RZW did that pretty well.
No, I'm kind of fine with what I have now, honestly. I already have enough exclusives in my company that I don't even choose by force. Zero, he says he just wants to stick with Ring of Honor. Alex Frost. I know Inko's thinking about it. I don't think he's gonna roll through with that though. But the most special one to me is probably Vacation Guy. That man has been there with me since day one, and he's never left my side, and it means a lot. He's never really...
He's a heck of a wrestler.
Yeah, he's really good for the way he acts. He acts really silly, but he gets his stuff, and he's treated very seriously, considering he's a very sweet soul, and just how good he is in ring. He doesn't have to, like, come up with anything serious. Like, he plays a great face, and that's it. Like, you don't need a character change from him. He's just, like, somebody that everybody... Yeah, everybody can love him. There's, like, nobody that I've ever seen actually boo Vacation Guy, because he's just an easy level person.
Yeah, I've never seen Vacation Guy get booed.
That's one thing that caused me to have frustrations with DPCW is they were trying to make Vacation Guy seem like a heel, and that honestly really pissed me off, because, like, sadly, Vacation Guy is going to listen to everything you, like, pitch at him. If you're going to want him to do something, he's going to definitely do it, because you're his boss.
He's a good guy like that.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Like, he's going to definitely listen. So it made me a little upset, considering they're, like, kind of, or you could basically say they're kind of forcing him to, like, act like a heel, and he doesn't want that. He never wants to be a heel, and that's, like, one thing that's set in stone. And that's, like, one thing in my contract with him in Ring of Honor is I'm never going to make him heel. People who want that, I just don't, like, I'm not going to let it happen.
What would a Vacation Guy heel even be? Because, like, his
working
whole back to work guy. Average guy. 40 hours a week guy.
He's like depressed after hard shift guy.
Alcoholic guy.
No, but I think Vacation Guy is somebody who I think really deserves something to boost them. And I get that they have, like, the Ring of Honor World Championship and the DPCW Black Diamond World Championship, which is a heck of an accomplishment, but he's just not on enough list. Like, I see these people giving out their top 5 wrestlers, and it's so, like, upsetting to not see Vacation Guy on there just because he's not a serious person.
I love Vacation Guy.
Okay, enough with the meat riding. Jeez.
Jesus. Well, something I've been wondering, like, from your perspective, I always kind of wonder, like, so some people who are listening to this will probably have never heard of Rec Room or Rec Room Wrestling. So, to those people, how would you describe Rec Room as a whole and Rec Room Wrestling?
So, Rec Room as a whole is a whole different world. If you put on that VR headset, or if you get on that game console, Rec Room is, I would say it's like Roblox, but more immersive. That's a game where you're going to have fun with friends, and you can do pretty much any hobby in there. It comes all the way from having a pinball to having your own racialing profiling group.
Have your own what?
Don't worry, that's the least I can say about Rec Room. Rec Room is basically a game where you can do pretty much anything. It's literally Roblox, but different in VR.
I think that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, and with that, you have different leagues, and people love making Rec Room realistic, and I'm all for it, especially with Rec Room Studios becoming a thing, helping it even more evolve. But there's different leagues. You're going to have basketball leagues. You're going to have hockey leagues, football leagues. And the category that you're hearing from me is Rec Room Wrestling Leagues. And Rec Room Wrestling Leagues, to say the least, are you're watching real wrestling shows that are put on by people who are trying to make it feel as realistic as it can be for free. Like, if you really want to catch a good show, wrestling-wise, but you don't have the money, I really suggest going to a Rec Room Wrestling show. It's free.
I don't.
I get
Maybe because I've seen way too much of it at this
Yeah,
point.
it depends on the batch you get. That's to say the least. It depends on the batch you get. If you go to a little indie company, don't expect much. If
Don't
you're
go
going to big places,
don't go to
though,
buttfuck wrestling where it's like two children
snap,
fighting and complaining about who's gonna win.
yeah, sliding and jumping and punching.
No, I'm
But,
gonna win. I'm gonna win.
but if you really are into it, because I know that I'm making a Ring of Honor YouTube channel, and I'm gonna make that feel like an actual show that people can be more involved with. You don't have to get on VR to know what's happening. You don't have to really like come to events to be caught up on what's going on. So definitely, if you're bored or if you want to see how a wrestling show feels, go to a Rec Room Wrestling event. It's free. We may look like jelly beans, but I promise we make it look real.
It's at least somewhat like to me. Like if you're a wrestling fan and if you've never seen it before and you have the game, I think it's at least interesting to check out.
Yeah, definitely. That's where a lot of us come from. Seeing RGW, like at first, it was crazy. You know, like oh, they have wrestling leagues on here.
I remember I joined one of those. So like before the whole commentary thing, I was because I just kind of made that up as I went along. But before that, I was just kind of room hopping. That's how I would get my Rec Room content. It's just room hopping to different crazy ass scenarios and finding what worked best. So you had like the Amazing World of Gumball role play. So that one. So there's like a SpongeBob map or like a movie studio or like the high school maps. Like there's plenty of those. I wish I got to use more of like there's a new map now that's like it's like a stage and you have like a minute to basically make up a scene. You get like the background.
Oh yeah.
You get that. I've seen that one time and I was there and it was so fun and I wish I could do that again.
Honestly, and my suggestion, you definitely save up to get a VR, or at least like get VR chat on a PC, because they have that game, but in VR chat, and oh my god, it's amazing. It's like really great. It's funny, and the best thing is they set the prompts where the like audience gets to pick the prompts, and it can be anything, like literally anything. There's no stop. Like I don't think there's any like walls that can break what you can say.
You know you know how close I was to getting a VR?
How close?
How close? About 3 days ago, I was at my buddy's house, and he has this old PSVR in his room. He has the PS5 now, so he doesn't have his PS4 anymore. And he said like, oh, if you want it, you can have it because it doesn't connect to the PS5 anymore. So I was right there to get the PSVR and be on VR, but I turned it down.
Oh.
I turned it because I knew I was going to upgrade in the next few days.
Yeah.
So had that offer come earlier, maybe like a year earlier, I could have been on VR. I could have had VR. I don't even know what that would look like. I'd still be pretty ass.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't use it that much. That's why I didn't take it this time out, because I could still play it if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I could hook up the PS4 and set it up over there and do that. But what's the point?
I think that's one of the most annoying things about Rec Room Wrestling. Casual fans see it and they're just like, oh, they're just fake punching each other. But it's more harder than that. It's way more complicated than that. Like, you're going out there and you gotta like avoid every single risk, such as lagging or crashing. So you're like having to like make sure that doesn't happen. And then on top of that, you gotta make sure you don't botch. And then you're just having to perform in front of a live crowd, which is it gets nerve-wracking, to say the least.
On top of that, you have some fat ass reviewing it and judging your every move.
On top of that, you have some dick
some
commentating
dick
it,
who's
cracking
watching
jokes,
the match and roasting the shit out of you
cracking
the whole
jokes in
time.
his office seat, saying how good your wrestling is when he's never touched a VR headset.
Well, fat fuck McGee going to the top rope.
Some of it's hard though. There's an extent.
Yeah, I used to be so brutal on comment. Like, I got to a point where I was trying to just phoning it in. That's why I knew I wanted to stop. Because, like, you know the phrase "what a maneuver."
Yes.
The one I constantly keep getting like said to me now. At that point, I used to like call things by their moves, but I just got to the point where I got lazy because I'm like, I have to sit through so many shows. I gotta watch shows. What a maneuver there! I'm trying to call a story more than call the match.
Yeah, that's one problem with some commentators nowadays. They kind of just they don't say anything about it or why they're fighting or like the actual move, and it kind of gets in the way of some storytelling. Because if you're gonna have a big main event and they do a big move and you call it as like the wrong move or just say something like "what a maneuver," it's gonna ruin that thing. It's gonna ruin the special feel good moment.
Yeah. Well, the thing I always avoided that because I'm just like, well, it's me. Nobody's gonna fucking say anything to me.
Yeah,
nobody's gonna say shit. They're gonna laugh because I said what a maneuver. And like,
you went to 5 stars or not? Goddammit.
Like they don't like some people give a shit. They'll be like, there was a German suplex or that was a fucking DDT.
I hate when the refs start saying shit like that.
I'm just like, make it look better then, because that's clearly not what it looked like. For people who are getting into commentary, I would say like the goal is to not only call what's going on, but build the story of the overall show. You can't just sit there and be like, oh, there's a clothesline, he's getting up now he's running to the ropes, clothesline again. Like, if you just keep doing that and you calling moves, nobody wants to fucking watch that.
Yeah.
I sure as hell don't. I'm bored as fuck watching that. Sometimes I'll watch it on mute because I just don't want to hear anything.
It depends on the intensity too. I get some commentators can't be yelling, but like with me, I think yelling is like the whole thing that sets me aside from some commentators. Me and Zero definitely. Zero's crazy with it, but I think that's a good commentary team when you got me and Zero on there because I just love calling out moves so exaggerating where it makes it feel more of like an impact. It makes it seem bigger than what it has to be.
Having enthusiasm works too, but having fake enthusiasm.
Oh yeah, fake. Oh,
God, I hate it.
Horrible. Like that's why I think I hate going to indie shows because you have like little kids like they whisper yelling, and it's more embarrassing than just talking normally on commentary.
Like, my voice never really changes when I was on commentary because like nothing. Like I don't yell. I don't yell that often. So whenever something like really happens, you'll hear a holy shit or like a what the fuck was that? Like you'll hear like a genuine reaction from me. Mm-hmm. I think being genuine is a part of it too. Like you gotta be able to connect.
It's hard though maintaining your cool as a commentator. Because you're either gonna get a good match that's gonna have you on the edge of your seat, calling the moves out with excitement. It's like those extreme matches. Like I'm trying to think. Like I know when me and you were commentating that one time. I don't know what match was it, but it was when I know Bruiser was in it. They went through the barricade, and that actually got me like excited. So I started commentating good.
Yeah, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
So this old ass man was like, "Where are they?"
I just heard it. I was like, "What the hell? Was there a gun that went off?" And he go, "Well, if you walk your fat lazy ass over, you'll see." And like,
two men just went through the barricade.
And then I walked over. I'm like, "Oh, cool."
That was probably the time I enjoyed my commentary because it was funny. I felt bad because me and you were probably flaming Noah Blitz.
I think Boba Fett got it the worst.
Boba and Noah probably, they definitely got it.
Yeah, you weren't doing anything to Boba Fett because you felt bad. You were like, I'm not doing that. But I was like, I have zero fucks.
I didn't need to hear a gunshot coming from the ref's mic.
Ring the bell. When I heard that, I was like, why the hell does he sound? And then you're like, stop! No!
I was like, no! Because I think that was like the first or second day he started talking normally. I was like, oh damn, poor dude.
And then I'm like, the ref stopped counting. I guess he's embarrassed. And then he takes his mic off. He's like, I don't want to do it no more.
I know. You could just see Goji coming up to him and like talking to him and replacing him with another ref.
That was probably the funniest like day that I had on commentary.
That was definitely a fun day on commentary for me. It was fun. I don't know. I like commentating with like just by myself or with other people, but it's like that certain batch of like good commentators that makes it even more thrilling because you're like, oh, we're about to make this sound like it's on TV.
You need to have
Which
like I think like a 2-man team is probably perfect.
yeah, I hate that there's like 4-man teams because then it just sounds like people talking over each other. That's another thing. One of my biggest pet peeves in Rec Room Wrestling is when the two commentators are just talking over each other.
Yep. Nope. I agree with you.
Like
that's something I did too. Like because you can't control what someone else is gonna say.
Yeah.
Microphone always like talked over because like him and I we're both play-by-play guys.
Yeah.
So I try to adjust whenever he started talking a lot. I would try to adjust to what he's saying. But if he's not saying anything good, then I would start taking over.
Yeah. It gets annoying though. Some people are just hard. I know there's some people though. I love commentating with Zero. Zero's fun to commentate with. Plasma's good to commentate with. You definitely, because that's just easy. We're both understanding on what to do for commentary and how to make it sound the best it can.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I'm not even gonna lie. Rocker is very hard to commentate with.
Because like, he understands some aspects of it, and I'll give him that. Like he's a good play-by-play guy, and he knows how to build a story. But he also doesn't know when to stop.
Yeah, he hogs up the play like crazy. Where you're like, Rocker, and then Paragon and Jackson Flash. They're such good commentators, but it's just them not giving it a break. Like them not letting the other commentary members talk.
Paragon and Jackson Flash are both very. There's one that like really surprised me, and I wish he had a deeper voice. Dawson Dynamite.
Dawson's great. Yeah,
I watched a match between like him and Stime and Vacation Guy at the last like ROH pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Holy shit. He made that match so much better. I sent him a message personally after that. I was like, well done, man. Well done.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of good commentators out there. Power's another one. Power's the underrated one. I get that he sounds calm, but I'd rather have a calm commentator than just somebody like who's fake whispering or like fake yelling. I like Power's commentary because it's like very calm and it makes it feel like a TV match.
I like having good play-by-play guys. I like having, I like having good color commentators. I like having, because like most of the time, if I'm doing the play-by-play, I like having someone I can actually have a conversation with. You know?
Yeah.
Like so like Plasma, he was back in Impact. He was one of the guys that I would do commentary with. I think he's the one who found me that day, like when I was just sitting in the crowd. There was my best broadcast partner was a guy that I picked out of the crowd from an Impact show. His name was Jay. He was Australian. So I heard him commentating behind me, and he had like these great reactions. He was funny. So I brought him up with me, and him and I commentated the rest of the show. And then he got a job at Impact with me.
That's sweet. Another Australian, there's hardly any, like, not like, you could say diversity, I guess. But you never really see diversity in Rec Room. You never see, like, somebody who comes from Japan or somebody who comes from France.
They're all even different time zones, like, entirely.
Yeah, it's, like, probably the most unique diversity you'd get in Rec Room is somebody like PBG from Australia. And that man's voice is amazing, to say the least.
He does have a good voice.
Yeah, his announcing skills is just crazy. It's really good.
Yeah, Jay's nickname that I gave him, since he was Australian and he was looking for a commentary nickname, I gave him the name The Aussie Analyst.
Oh.
And he loved that name, and he just started going by The Aussie Analyst for months.
There's one thing. I love how commentators have nicknames for themselves. Because when you have a superstar on commentary, they usually change up their name, which is fun. Because, like, it's good to know that people can say they like Ruby God Gaming, the wrestler, or they can like Gooby God Raming, the commentary.
Gooby God Raming.
That's what I'd go by. And it's pretty funny, you know. It's a funny name, but when it actually comes to the commentating, that's when you get serious.
Microphone's a creative name. Z-Mahan. That's just kind of fun. I'm thinking of like there's one that's like what's the title?
The one that's the funniest to me is literally just Old Man.
Old Man's a funny name too.
Old Man is probably the funniest person you're gonna get on your commentary, like for the show.
He's another one I love doing commentary with, because like he's like one of the perfect color commentators. He doesn't take over, but he has
Yeah.
plenty to say.
It's it's very hard wrestling when you have like old man commentating because you're just gonna be laughing the whole time.
And now he's sleep. I think he was there with my. He was there during the Kai Vacation Guy match. He was next to me. He put the energy into it, because like that's what I also like, is like, since I don't have a lot of energy, I just have like, I have the voice, and I have like my cadence. What they have is the energy and the passion. So having that person next to me with the passion, who can bring the energy, like, that's always a helpful hand.
Yeah, Old Man's very funny, honestly. I think that's one of the greatest Ring of Honor exclusives I have, just because how funny he is. So right now I already told you about the Ring of Honor, like, actual show I'm trying to make. And we're doing backstage segments now, where it looks realistic. And I did one with Old Man, concerning me and Nico are the tag team champions.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my god, the amount of takes it took, like, to stay serious. Because it was like a bit where he's asking us a question, and I super kick him and I start talking smack. But when you hit it and you just hear like, oh my god, and then you have to like cut a promo after that, it's so difficult.
He's just trying to make you break too.
Yes. I remember it was like the first or second take I did it, and like while I'm talking, you just hear my back.
I love his southern accent too. It's so funny.
Yeah, I think that was one of my most unique things, having him come out to Sweet Home Alabama
that was a great choice.
Final battle. I think that made me actually laugh on commentary, because I was like, "Oh my god, of course!"
Of course, Old Man, the southern old man's coming out to that.
Yeah, he came out with like an Alabama flag or something like that, just to really soak in the heat.
Yeah.
Old Man's like those lucky few that don't have to wrestle much to get like a crowd reaction.
That's a good thing about being a commentator. It's like you have a unique way to get to the audience, especially like talking to them. Like I
definitely want to be wearing a mask for commentary, like Excalibur. I think that'd be funny. That'd be something unique.
Where I could see, but I mean like more of how you present yourself on commentary and like how you interact with the crowd.
Very fit. Like, I want to start wearing a tuxedo and actually have a mask on and all that.
I'm just imagining like, because like that's all it is. It's just building a brand. That's all I did. That's all Old Man's doing. That's all Microphone did. Like everybody, like that's just all it is. It's just building your personal brand.
Yeah. I have another funny story about Old Man. I'm stuck on it right now.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Let's hear this.
Bro, he's so funny because I think it was Jackpot. Last year's Jackpot. When it was Stein versus Paragon, right? I Quit match? In the main event.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I know it was Shay Cross I was talking to. And he was talking about how Old Man is like crazy, and he was like, "Yeah, I was just recording the show," and I hear Old Man tell Stein to kneel on his neck.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I was laughing, and he's like, "Old Man was saying the hard art of Paragon so bad, but Rocker just kicked him." Like Rocker just kicked him in the crowd. Like, I just want to know how Paragon just felt about that going backstage.
Jesus Christ, Old Man. Why? Why? What's the most fucked up thing you've seen on the game? Just on Rec Room in general.
So, this was after Yak got caught being a pedo, right? Okay. So, he wanted to get back in RZW. And this is the one prop that I'll give to Scratch as admiring him. So,
that's the wrong choice of words, but go on.
Yeah. They can hate me if they want, but Scratch made Yak get on standing mode in Rec Room and made him literally get on his knees and like get in a praying position and beg to get back into the company. And I think that's one of the most that's one of the most diabolical things you can do to a man. Make him get up with the headset on and just pray to another virtual man. And it's not like these are like 10-year-olds. This is like a 15 and 16-year-old doing this.
Yikes. Ugh.
You have me and 11 Jack situation too. Oof.
Oh yeah, the 11 Jack? I forgot about that.
A grown man saying he's gonna dox me just because I didn't want to job out to his best friends. He was telling his friends and like the whole server that he took my IP address and that he had my Rec Room account. And it was just dumb because I'm like, this is like a 17-year-old dude like bragging to his friends online about how he took somebody's account when he's like just hard straight up lying.
That reminds me of a story, like some guy, he actually hacked into our PlayStation account maybe a couple of years back.
Ooh.
And like he spent like $40 on a game or something like that. So I was like shit. So we found a way, we changed the password. But the dumbass left his email when we did that. So I found his email address and I found like what account he was using, and he made himself like a little kid account on our account. So I timed his ass out so he could never play the game. So no matter what he does when he tries to log in, he will never be able to hop on because I have parental controls over it. And then I reported his ass. And then I reported his email. So his email probably got taken down after that.
Yeah.
So he spent $40 on this shitty soccer game that he never got to play.
Oh, that's even worse. Like spending money on that. I actually have a story similar to that, and that just happened yesterday.
Oh no! Please don't tell me it's that bad.
No. So I was at my girlfriend's house to watch this TNA pay-per-view. Right? Did you hear about it?
No, I don't follow TNA.
So they brought back TNA, so I definitely wanted to watch it. And you know how when WWE came out with the WWE Network, it was very like confusing on how to like watch the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Because usually you just buy it off the TV, right? And you're like wondering, like, oh, how do I use this app? So I'm like at my girlfriend's house, and they're all like, "Oh, how do we watch it? How do we watch it?" And I'm like, "Oh, don't worry, like I'll pay for it, right?" So I go on TNA Plus, right, and I buy it.
TNA Plus is outrageous.
They made a thing. So they say it's like $10, right? $9.99. No biggie for me. So I buy it, and I'm just like, all right, like now I can watch the pay-per-view. And I press the pay-per-view, and they're like, "Oh, so you bought a subscription to watch our library, but to actually watch the pay-per-view live, you got to spend $40 more."
What?
Yeah, and I felt so scammed, bro, because I couldn't refund my money. So I just straight up canceled the subscription, and I took that loss so badly.
You cried to your girlfriend afterward.
Yeah, I just
couldn't watch TNA.
I was like, they scammed me. I was like, God damn it. They streamed it off of a legal website after that, but I was just like I spent $10 for nothing, bro. Really?
Honestly, you deserve it for spending money on TNA Plus.
That was the only way they could watch it, so I was like, oh man.
I didn't even know TNA Plus was a thing.
It just introduced it.
I think there's only one topic we haven't really discussed that much in length, and that's the YouTube side of things.
Yeah, let's get on to that. You know?
I was going to save that for last because I think we got a couple questions related to that some people want to know about. We get to look at some audience sent in questions. This one's from Z-Man. He says, "What made you start making content?"
Well, for me, I just like entertaining people. I think that's kind of a reason why, dude, kind of a reason why I was born, the alpha way.
I was born to do this.
No, I didn't know how to say it without being corny, but it's definitely one of my reasons in life. I just love entertaining people, and it keeps me happy. I love making other people happy, and that's why wrestling's a thing I love to do, and also content making, something I love to do.
I used to just love it. I just wanted to be famous. That was our goal was just to be famous. We just wanted to be We wanted to be popular YouTubers because it's
Like,
so cool. Play video games for a living. So cool. Yeah.
yeah, payment does get in like the way when you start getting older, because then you're like, yeah, I want to start doing something I like instead of having a shitty 9 to 5 and get paid for it.
Yeah, you get to a point, you have to kind of find, like, for me, I had to find my way around that.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's a point where you have these, like, dream standards of what your job's going to be, and then what your realistic standards of what your job's going to be.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a point where you need to either, like, because you're never going to get to that dream point, like, pro football player or some shit like that. You're not getting there. You suck. You're not you're not getting to that level. But
either move on or end your life.
not that one of those two options, maybe. At least not the second one, but you have to find that balance. You have to find a point where that dream job, you can slowly move it to the middle ground between like a realistic job and a dream job.
Yeah.
Find something that you can be passionate about. I think that's advice for anybody going into college. Find something that you're going to be passionate about, because if you get stuck doing a 4-year degree and you have no fucking idea what you want to do and you're not passionate about anything, it's a waste of money.
Or if you're not a dumb piece of shit, just don't go to college.
And if you're poor as fuck, don't even go to community. You poor bastard.
If you don't want to have debt for the rest of your fucking life, don't go to college. Just get your high school diploma and then try to start a career off from there, maybe, if you're lucky.
So Z-Man also wrote, so what's the motivation to keep posting like now?
Motivation for me, making people happy. I love that. And entertaining people is a big part of my life. I always do it in school, out of school, with wrestling school too. I love trying to like entertain people that I was doing stuff with. Pause.
Oh God, yeah. Pause.
Wrestling
wise, that one.
Entertaining and all that. But just making them happy and wanting to see you more. I think the attention is really like, I would say, healthy for me, because I'm somebody that likes having all this attention, so I can keep on making them more happy. So I love making my videos, gaming videos, which is really hard to make entertaining, because like people usually like playing games instead of watching them. So I make sure to make it as funny as possible, so they actually enjoy watching me play those games.
It depends on like what type of gaming video you do. You could do like a funny moments one where it's not about the gaming necessarily, but it's about more of like the group involved.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand about Twitch, like how people just sit there, watch a stream for 4 hours, and it's just some random girl with her tits out living her everyday life.
I like to watch, if I did watch a stream, I would watch like somebody watching a movie, like, because then they're adding commentary to it. Like it's a fun, like if it's a movie that sucks or something like that, that's always the best, because it's all those same thoughts that you have, but now somebody's vocalizing it that isn't you. I think nowadays, so I used to say like our motivation before was to get to 1,000 subs, and now we've done that, I have 2 motivations now to keep going. My first one is I have a buddy who's at 1,700 subs. He just kept posting shorts, like, and it was always the same exact shorts over and over again, and that's how he got there. And my only goal now is to beat him. So it's more of a petty reason than anything. But yeah, the other motivation now is like, I have those videos for my friends. These friends that I've been playing with for years. And now we can all look back on them in 5-10 years and just remember those times together.
Hard in it. I love, that's why just not even like putting it on YouTube, but just getting clips off of Rec Room on Oculus or getting clips off of PlayStation. It's great to do because honestly, not to make it like depressing and shit, but like when you look back at it 10 years from now or 5 years from now, you remember all those good times you had with all your like friends.
Even now, I'm like looking back at like being in high school and playing on a Wednesday night or something like that, playing some like GTA heists. It takes you back.
I think one thing that I really need to get over, and it's going to be hard, is people calling me Sky on my like. I always get called Ruby, and I don't blame them for that. Like I get it's like confusing, but I just can't be going by that name, and it's gone to the point where I'm thinking about just changing my whole name, like Ruby in general, to just Sky.
That's actually not a bad idea. Well, like
especially that shitty ass joke that people say about Ruby Gyat Gaming. Like, you're not fucking funny, dude. Nobody fucking laughed at it. You do not know the hardship and like how bad I cuss people out just because I join a room and I hear, oh look, it's Ruby Gyat Gaming. Like, the shit's not funny anymore. Like, I get it was funny like back then, but when you start calling me that on commentary, I'm gonna start pulling shit you don't like either. Like when I'm on commentary.
What is this one's from Alex Frost. It says, "Can I oil you up?" Alright, and he's blocked, unmodded, killed,
Mods,
assassinated.
ban him, please. Mods, ban him. Get him out of the server, dude.
I think of case over like, yeah, you're banned. Have a good night.
You're banned.
One of the other questions is from Zero, and he says, "How do you keep coming up with content?"
Well, for me, honestly, I just try to think of stuff people liked, and I'll redo it. Like, with that whole Rec Room High School video, I didn't really plan on Invincible being the whole, like, big gig about it. I was just getting into the show, and I was like, oh, it'd be funny to just add that in as a little skit.
Yeah.
And I added it, and everybody liked it, so I was like, oh, like, if that's something people like, then they're definitely going to want to see more of it. So that's why for this Fall Guys video that I'm making this week, I spent $10 on an Invincible outfit in Fall Guys.
You did not spend $10.
I did.
Oh
a $9.78 Fall Guys to become Invincible. So I'm hoping that does me justice, gets a good video, good views, likes. Because I think people will like it if I do it right. I don't want to overuse the joke, but if I make it funny enough.
Do you think you're ever gonna do another one of those like sketch videos in Rec Room?
I kind of do too many of them in Rec Room. I want to start doing them in VR chat, or just games on like just regular PlayStation, like in Roblox. I wouldn't mind making a video, like a skit, or GTA. GTA definitely.
GTA
I think that's
would be fun. I've had so many like different content ideas over the years. There's like, because like what will happen is like there's a planning stage now, and there's like trying to figure shit out. So like, what's a good example? Like GTA Car Tag. GTA Car Tag started as an idea that just happened while we were playing GTA. We were just, my brother and his friend, like Star, Dakota, and our buddy Grayson. Like they were all just fucking around, driving around Los Santos, playing a game of tag with cars. Like that's how it started. They were just playing tag, and they started like adapting the rules a little bit. So they came like, no, you can't leave the city. You can't tag the person who tagged you, and like that's where the idea started. And eventually, my brother turned it into a game where it's like now it's for money, and last person standing wins.
Yeah, that's definitely something I want to do. YouTube channel wise, I like getting subscribers involved because it definitely like secures that they're gonna either like the video or even like just view it a lot and maybe even share it if you're lucky enough. So it's fun getting like other people involved because then they just want to watch your video even more.
The best is when like an idea that you have kind of pays off.
Like, like the Practical Jokers thing really paid off.
Yeah, most recently the one that's been paying off so much. I told you a little bit, but like Discord Family Feud.
Yeah,
that idea, that was a suggestion from people, and the process of that one was just let's find a place where we could have this, which ended up being just Google Feud, because that's all I could really find. Get the people together in a Discord call, and I'll verbally read the question out.
Yeah.
The one thing that does suck about that is like you can't see the answers until after I get 4 strikes. So even if you are close, it's not going to say that until afterwards.
I know.
And that's when I was a little more generous with points once I saw it. But before that, I was like, yeah, no, you don't get points because it's the strike system. And apparently YouTube likes that. YouTube likes that format for shorts because I've been getting a shit ton of views on the. There's some ideas that I'll force to continue because I like the idea, like Minecraft Olympics. That was one that that was somewhat successful, I would say. Like it was pretty good. It was pretty decent. But like I loved the concept. I loved making the videos, and like I loved how they were formatted. And I think to me those are like underappreciated. And like me and my buddy Cam, we do a horror series for like the Dark Pither. Fucking words storing together.
I'm like, what?
The Dark The Dark Pictures anthology games. That's like the House of Ashes. But yeah, like just having ideas and brainstorming. Having like the TV review for Better Call Saul doing well.
It did really good.
That one got like 4,000 views. My first ever movie review when that came out, that got like 4,000 views when it came out. That was another like holy shit, that was successful.
Yeah. That's honestly hardship of making content is like you're either gonna really do good or it's like not gonna do good enough, and that's just flat out disappointment.
That's like go ahead. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
My bad. But I'm like, when I made that Best of 2023 video, it was on my birthday that I was editing the video, so I was already like, I haven't posted in so long, so let me just do it today. So it was like a lot of editing. That's another hardship, is editing. Mm-hmm. So it took an hour and a half to get all the stuff. And after I posted it, it didn't even get 100 views. Oh, like, come on, really, bro?
A part of the reason why I don't do those movie reviews that often, for one, the editing takes fucking forever. Sitting through that, finding all those clips for the movies. And like, the Nacho Libre one took forever to collect those clips. Finding those clips and getting them together, making like a 15-ish minute video.
Yeah.
And then just to have it fucking copyright claimed. That's another problem where just YouTube's like, yeah, we're not going to show this anymore. So what was the point of me editing it?
I think that's the kind of part that bums me out if I do make it in YouTube. Is I can't do like my intros and outros with songs that I like anymore. I'm just going to have to like find some shitty ass generic Superstar theme number 2 music.
And then even if you somehow pass the long ass editing process, the fucking terrible copyright system that YouTube has, if you somehow pass all of that just for the video to get like 30 views, what was the point of that?
Just like, god damn it.
I wasted maybe a week editing this shit together.
I want to get more into YouTube, so I'm like trying to afford this little laptop to get, so I can start editing my videos, honestly.
Have you ever considered making your own music for your channel?
I don't make music. I saw like posted beats. Like, do you make music?
We do beats, and so like our channel intro, that's not ours. That one's not ours. That's somebody else's that they put on YouTube. Yeah. It's copyright free, so we took it. And then the outro is one that I actually made. I made that song. It was like I was fucking around on this like Soundtrap. I think that's what it was, Soundtrap. But I was like, I've always been like kind of a musical kid.
Yeah.
Part. So I did like Note Flight, and there was like this online sequencer. I made some beats. The first like 9 beats are all from that. But the 10th one, which this is the outro, the 10th one was from Soundtrap, and it was me like fucking around with samples. And I made that beat, and I knew it was good enough to have as an outro, so I kept it. I think it's good. I don't know if anyone else thinks it's good, but I think it's good.
Yeah.
You were just thinking about it. You're like, yeah, I don't really listen. I think that's how most people are. Like, they probably just don't even pay that much attention to it. They just hear like, oh, there's some music in the background, the video's ending.
That's what it's like. Like, when you're the one editing the video, you're kind of like paying attention to every single detail when you rewatch the video. If it's like to your other viewers, they're just viewing it like normal.
They're just watching. Some people will just be like, they'll be picking apart shit. Other people will just be laughing because they're just laughing at random jokes. Have you gotten recognized like outside, like in Rec Room, just for the YouTube stuff?
No, but surprisingly, at school, yes.
At
I
school?
didn't know, like not like I didn't know the person. They're like, "Oh my god, is that this one guy?" But I didn't know that my friend like subscribed to my YouTube channel because this is like like more like an acquaintance, and he was like talking about, oh, like I saw that new video you posted. And that actually like shocked me because I was like, oh shit, wait, what? Like I would have a YouTube channel and all that.
You watch my YouTube?
Like you watch my YouTube channel?
Holy
He's like,
shit.
you see me wrestle on Rec Room with a bunch of other people?
Yeah, it's kind of gay.
I don't think I want to be your friend anymore, man.
I think you got some weird habits. Yeah, I got one more question for you about the YouTube, and I think we'll wrap it up here.
Yeah, that's fine.
What kind of, I guess to finish this out, what kind of future projects do you have going on, and what does the future look like for TheOneSkyIAm?
That sounded like a movie. Anyways,
It's a shitty Hallmark movie.
straight to home video. Find it at your local Goodwill.
Direct to VHS.
No, but I like getting the subscribers involved. It means a lot when they watch the video and they realize how funny it is. They give it a chance. So I would definitely want to do something that involves a battle royale, either in a VR game or just a PlayStation game flat out. It could be. I want it to be just YouTubers only. I think that'd be really interesting. Having people like you, Power, Alex, Goji, and maybe even just YouTubers I don't even talk to, like that aren't Rec Room wrestlers, but like still promote their stuff. I think that'd be really interesting to have like a YouTuber battle royale. That'd be a good video that I think would do good.
What kind of battle royale would that be?
It could either be like either like a game of Minecraft, a game of I'm trying to think. I still gotta find out the game. Like it would be fun if we did Gang Beast or what's the new one? Party Animals?
I've heard that one's pretty good.
Something like that. Like a game where it's like a whole battle royale thing. Either that or a tournament. I think that'd be fun. Like a tournament series. I wanted to do that, but with Mortal Kombat. But a lot of people just don't care for my Mortal Kombat stuff. It's kind of a shame because I'm actually kind of good at the game.
That's how I feel with Mario Kart. I'm like, I like playing Mario Kart. It's just like it's my like escape game where like I don't have to worry about shit and I can just relax.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about the gameplay. Like they don't care about watching the videos. At least the two that I've done. But like just having that game to relax to is always nice.
Or I definitely want to do a funny ass GTA skit. I think that would be great. Nobody's heard from him, Aardvark, but I really would want to do something with him GTA skit wise because it would be funny as hell.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be it of the podcast today. We've gone a little over time, but who the fuck cares, right? I make the rules here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fuck you guys. Subscribe, you know. That's something I like to do at the end of recording sessions. Just yell at the subscriber, like yell at the person watching, be like, "Fuck you, watch the video."
Yeah.
But yeah, I will leave the floor open to Sky. If you have anything else you want to add, anything you want to promote, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Subscribe to me too. You know, I'd appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 500 subs by the end of the year. I'd appreciate it if you guys would help me achieve that goal. And if Shep isn't old, he will be able to put my link into the description of the video. I know he's going to hate me for that, considering that's going to be more work on his part in editing. But, you know, it's not my fucking podcast. I didn't choose to make this. So make sure to subscribe to The One Sky I Am on YouTube. I promote very funny videos and feel-good videos. It should give you memories of playing games with your best friends after school, and that's what I'm doing right now before my life goes straight down to hell like ShepBandicoot's life is right
like
now.
I already am.
So
You're acting like putting fucking You're acting like putting fucking channel links to something I haven't done for years. like I don't constantly do that. It's such a hassle to right click and copy paste.
damn straight. So if you're watching this, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe. I hope you like my videos. Leave comments on my videos letting me know what kind of content you'd like to see, and I'd love to try to make that happen.
Fair enough.
And yeah. And if you hear from me ever again on Shep's YouTube channel, it will probably be from a video of his, so make sure to check that out. I'll definitely promote it for me. And you never know, maybe in the future we could get a partnership video, and that'd be fun. Inka, if you're watching this, I love you, not in a gay way. Yeah, so
What's wrong with that?
not that there's anything wrong with that, just I don't need any
Sounds like you're implying there's something wrong with that.
What the hell are you talking
You a
about?
homophobe? Cancel. Cancel the one Sky I am.
Oh, I got canceled, sort of.
You're banned. You're banned. Have a good night.